Hey, how's it going? My name is Ramon Dees, and I am the 48 Days Marketing Coach. I want to talk with you today really briefly about 5 best practices for coaches, solopreneurs, authors, speakers, anyone who is intent. You might even run a local business. Now, I really have a heart for solopreneurs, people that run small businesses, and for the last 10 years, I've been helping them to boost sales and revenue. I did an interview several years ago with a company that was failing. They were doing $12,000 a month in gross sales and about to go under. Well, I'm going to be talking with you today about 5 things. They just did one of the 5, and in just under 60 days, they had a boost in sales of 358%. That's right. They went from $12,000 a month to about $55,000 a month because of the one thing that they did. Imagine what can happen in your business if you follow their example and not just number 1, but you execute across all 5. So I want to transition and just kind of jump into a PowerPoint slide and kind of walk with you through these 5 tips. I want to keep this video really brief because I know your time, just like mine, is really valuable. You've got a lot to do, especially as a solopreneur. But I want to get right into this so that you can immediately take action and realize the benefit in your business by doing the same thing, okay? And if you want to hear that interview that I did, it's available. There will be a link right beneath this video, whether you're on my website or whether you are watching this on YouTube, maybe even Vimeo. Wherever you find this video, I'll make sure that there's a link so that you can listen to the interview that I did and discover exactly how that failing company turned it around in just under 60 days and took off. All right, because you can do the same if you're an action taker. So let's jump into the presentation. All righty, so I want to jump right into this and keep this brief. This is going to be a 1-slide presentation. 5 best practices for coaches and solopreneurs to boost sales and revenue fast. Now, when I started in sales and marketing, or advertising and marketing, I should say, 10 years ago, one of the biggest mistakes that I found small business owners making, I started out working for yellowpages.com, and a lot of small business owners on Main Street were frustrated and disgruntled because their investment in advertising and marketing, online tools, that's when online marketing was really becoming popular, they were not getting a return on their investment, and so they were calling my cubicle looking for the guy who sat there before I did, and they were really upset. So I started doing some homework, and the number one mistake that I found small business owners making was they didn't have a compelling value proposition. Too many were doing me too marketing, and what I mean by that is when someone is ready to buy, when they're in a buying cycle, there are 3 stages that they go through. Buyers, they go through awareness, consideration, and then decision. Well, one of the most effective things that you can do to really capture someone's attention immediately is to have a compelling value proposition. Now, I did an interview several years ago of a company that was struggling. They were about to go under. They were doing about $12,000 a month in gross revenue, but it just wasn't covering all their expenses, and they were on the verge of going out of business. And so in this interview, we talked about how they actually turned it around in just under 60 days. Okay, and this is exactly what they did. They created a compelling USP, or unique selling proposition, a value proposition. And they went from doing just about $12,000 a month in gross revenue to doing $55,000 a month in gross revenue in just under 60 days. Now, this is by far, having a unique selling proposition is by far the single most important question you'll ever answer concerning your marketing as a business owner. And here's that question. Why should someone do business with you over and above anybody else who appears to offer the same or similar service in your marketplace? Why should a consumer trust you? You know, I'm like a lot of people. If I'm making a significant purchase, I'm going to look at 2-3 service providers easy, just to see where can I get the biggest value. You see, I'm sure you understand we live in a reputation economy nowadays, and everybody wants to look at stars. Everybody wants to know, what are your reviews like? What do your previous customers have to say about you? I was asking a fitness trainer who's a friend, a colleague, and actually a client, and I asked him, I said, hey, Dre, what do you do when someone makes a recommendation to you about a place to eat? He says, well, my wife and I will take a quick look at the reviews, and then after that, if the reviews look good, we'll decide to go check them out. Okay. Now, here's the thing: if you've got a compelling value proposition and you deliver on it, then you give your customers a reason to leave a review, a 4 or 5 star review. But the number one thing that you need to have that will immediately differentiate you from your competitors is a unique selling proposition. Now, there are a couple ways to do a unique selling proposition. The most famous one from years ago was Domino's. Um, they understood the marketplace, and their USP at that time was fresh hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed, or it's free. And that was back in the day when I was a teenager. I'd cut hair of friends that would come over to our apartment, and after cutting hair, we wanted pizza, and it would take an hour and a half to get pizza. So Domino's understood the marketplace, and they created a value proposition that flew in the face of 60 to 90-minute deliveries. They knew that people wanted fresh, hot pizza fast, and that's what they delivered. And as a result, they really dominated the marketplace for quite a while. Now, it's a new day. At the time that I'm shooting this video, it's 2016. But a unique selling proposition is an evergreen principle of effective marketing. It was created by Rosser Reeves back in, I want to say, 1954. So when you think about the candy M&Ms, the value proposition there is melts in your mouth, not in your hands. That was invented by Rosser Reeves. But that's the number one thing you want to do. Now, second thing is you want to make sure that you build high converting landing and sales pages. Okay. I'm going to give you the third one at the same time because all three of these work together. This is the front end of an effective, well developed sales process. Okay. In order to really create a compelling, unique selling proposition, you have to really understand who your ideal consumer is. And then you want to create a sales message or a sales argument, as some people would say, that really speaks to the need of that ideal consumer. You want to make some type of a promise that shows them how their life is going to improve as a result of doing business with you. So it should be a promise that really grabs somebody's attention and causes them to listen up to the rest of your message. Now, once you've got that unique selling proposition, you want to integrate it into your landing pages and your sales pages. Landing pages are more so for generating leads. This is where you give away mind maps, cheat sheets, free downloads of maybe a chapter of a book or a PDF or even a free video, educational video, just like this one. But you want to give something away that gives a person a reason to come into your funnel. And if they don't know you, like you, or trust you yet, then giving something away is a great way to demonstrate value and to begin the conversation. And then, of course, sales pages is the same way. Every buyer goes through 3 stages: awareness, consideration, and decision. So when someone is at the awareness stage, the landing pages work really well because you can give something away. And if all a person has to give you is their email address, then in many cases, if you've built a lead magnet in a way that's really appealing to your market because you understand who they are and what problems they want to eliminate from their lives, then you stand a higher chance of converting those website visitors into those unknown website visitors into known leads if you've got optimized landing pages. And then, of course, once they've been in your sales process for a while, then you can send them to your sales pages. And depending on what the product is, in many cases, you can put a sales page right behind your opt-in page if it's a very low priced offer. Okay. Now, it's critical to send targeted traffic to your landing pages and your sales pages. And when I say targeted traffic, I really should have added the word paid targeted traffic. And here's why. Because this is all about boosting sales and revenue. Well, in order to boost sales and revenue, there are a few things that you need to know and be in control of. You need to know what your numbers are. When I say numbers, I'm talking about how many leads are you generating on a consistent basis? How many leads every week? How many leads every month? And if we're talking about online marketing, how many leads are coming to your website month in and month out? And then what's your conversion rate of leads to actual customers? So for every 100 people that come to your website, what percentage of those 100 visitors are actually pulling out a credit or a debit card and completing a transaction online? Or how many of those, depending upon the nature of your business, are picking up the phone to schedule an appointment? That's your conversion rate. Well, if you really want to boost sales and revenue, you have to be able to control your conversion rate. And the only way to really control your conversion rate is you first have to start with um, how many people are coming to your website. Well, two numbers really you need to control. You need to control the number of leads that are coming to your website. And so that's where paid traffic comes in. Free traffic is great, but free traffic is typically, we don't have as much control over free traffic as we do paid traffic. So what we want to do is we want to identify sources of paid traffic that we can control how much of that traffic is actually coming to our website month in, month out. Because everyone has a conversion rate. So for every 100 visitors that are coming to your site, if you're converting 3%, then that's 3 visitors for every 100. And if you've got a $20 product, then that's $60 in revenue for every 100 visitors. The question becomes, how much did those 100 visitors cost you to get them to your website? And that's going to determine whether or not that $60 revenue from those 3 purchases puts you in a positive or a negative ROI. But when you want to boost sales and revenue, you got to be able to control how many leads are being fed into that funnel, because your conversion rate is what it is initially. Now, it can be improved, and we're going to talk about how to improve that in just a moment. But those 3 things are the beginning of your sales process. If you've got a compelling, unique selling proposition, you've got high converting landing pages and sales pages, and you're sending targeted traffic to those landing pages, then assuming that your USP really resonates with your marketplace, your ideal consumer, a certain percentage of those people are going to opt in for your free reports or whatever it is that you're giving away, your lead magnets. And then another percentage is going to make buying decisions. Now, I want to talk just a few more moments, probably 2 to 3 more minutes, about how to maximize what we've done in the first 3 steps. Prior to the economic recession, 2008 through 2011 or 12, depending upon your perspective on that, I saw a statistic that said it took an average of 3 phone calls to contact a decision maker. I used to do a lot of cold calling. Well, just in the last 2 weeks, I saw another statistic that says now it takes 8 to 9 phone calls to get in touch with a decision maker. Typically, the average sale happens between the 5th and the 12th touch. So here's the thing. When someone comes to your website with traffic that you've paid for, they land on that high converting landing page and they see your USP. Some of them that pick up your lead magnet or coupon or whatever it might be, a lot of them still won't be ready to purchase in that moment. So how do you improve your conversion rate of leads that actually come to your site, they download something, and now they're in your sales funnel, they're in your sales process? How do you boost the conversion rate of those that are interested, they're in the consideration stage? How do you push them off of the fence and get them to make a decision? Well, you want to multiply the number of touches, meaningful touches. So email marketing is a great way to do that. If you've got a minimum of 5 emails in your autoresponder, something like Aweber, GetResponse, I love ActiveCampaign now because of the automations that it offers. You typically have to pay a lot more in another tool to get that kind of functionality. But if you've got an email marketing sequence where every email with a minimum of 5 is adding value every time you touch that prospective buyer, then here's what happens. You earn top of mind positioning because you're sending out value added information typically 4, 5, 6 days in a row. Okay, so you've earned top of mind positioning, you've added value in the mind and in the heart of that prospective consumer, and so effectively you have lowered the resistance that everyone has to buying, because you've positioned yourself as an asset and a resource, a trusted advisor, by providing great insight through your emails. Now, so that's going to drive your conversion rate up. Here's the other thing that's so important. You want to optimize your entire sales process with A/B split testing. And here's why I say that. Even as a marketer, people will often ask me the question, well, which headline do you think works better on this blog post, or which image looks better on my website? The truth of the matter is, a professional marketer can never tell you which one is absolutely, hands down, going to give you the best response for your marketing process. We understand best practices and how things work ideally and the fundamental principles of marketing and advertising, but I can never tell anyone how the market is going to respond to any particular set of marketing collateral. But what I can do is I can equip and show how to utilize A/B split testing so that the market can tell you what they really like about your product or service. They can make a decision on the basis of having two options. And then once you recognize who the winner is, now you know which headline to use. There's a classic book called Tested Advertising Methods by John Caples. And in this book, John points out that there was an ad run in a magazine many years ago. But they took this exact same ad and they duplicated it, except they had one variable. The ad looked exactly the same headline, the same copy for the most part, but what they changed was the appeal. Now, in some cases, you may not want to change the appeal. You might just decide to change the headline. The headline in any ad, blog post, or what have you, the first thing that's said in a video is 80% of the effectiveness of that marketing piece is wrapped up in the headline. So A/B split testing for headlines is a great way to identify, hey, what's my best headline? Now, there are other things that you can split test for. Beyond headlines, you can split test for images. You can split test for pricing options. You can split test for buttons. If you've got a buy now button on your site. But what happens is when you have a sales process, if you optimize it according to what you're seeing right here today, if you've got a compelling value proposition or USP that tells me, your prospective consumer, hey, here's how my life is going to improve as a result of making an investment in your product or service, you will hold the attention of your prospective buyers a lot longer. And the likelihood is, if you've really got a solid USP, then you're going to stand out from your competitors, who many of them will not have a USP, and you're going to convert more of your leads to actual consumers because you're telling them how they're going to benefit by doing business with you. So once you've got that USP and you've got it integrated into your landing pages and your sales pages and you're sending targeted traffic, then when people opt in for your lead magnets, then they will get those automated follow-ups via email marketing over the next 5, 6, 7 days. And that's going to, again, earn you top of mind positioning. And you will be able to close more sales, especially once you find out which headline gets the best result, which images get the best result, which button color gets the best result with your split testing. So I trust that you can see how these 5 steps will absolutely work in anybody's practice, be it you're a coach, a fitness trainer, massage therapist. I reach out to coaches and solopreneurs because I like helping people who are like me. I've been a solopreneur now since 2008, and I love what I do. I just had a great coaching call today, but I just wanted to share a few things with you that you could put to work immediately in your business. Now, again, the interview that we did a few years back that talks about the 358% increase to sales and revenue, there will be a link just beneath this video where you can click and you can identify that interview. You can download it and listen to it. It's free of charge. But that interview, coupled with the principles that I've spoken of here, I mean, granted, that company only used the USP, but still, they were able to boost sales 358% in under 60 days because they took action. Now, just imagine a 300%, they tripled revenue in just under 60 days just with the USP. Imagine what's possible in your business if not only do you create a compelling USP, but if you build those high converting landing and sales pages, you send targeted traffic to them, you automate your follow up with email marketing, and you optimize the entire process with A/B split testing. You will absolutely be astounded at the results that you can achieve by taking that approach. So I hope this has served you and helped you, been a blessing to you. Would love to get any feedback that you have. You can either leave feedback just beneath this video if you're on YouTube, or you can hop over to my website and send us a message via our contact page. We would love to hear from you. And then, of course, on our website, there is a button that says testimonials, and if you hover over that, and then you'll see a drop down for leave a review. If this has been beneficial to you and you like, you can actually go over there and leave us a review right there on the site, and we would greatly appreciate that. So we look forward to hearing from you in the future, and until then, have a great day, make it a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.